alongside my co-host James Luffy and Rory Luke. We're back again. LSU Tigers picked up the massive W against the Central Michigan Chippewas.
Yeah, we got some good news back too. Jay Ward coming back this week, which I think is huge, and we'll get to. So we also had some bad news though in that game. Andre Anthony, who I thought was really coming on for the first time in his career, looking like he's going to play in the NFL, and had a great start. And it sucks to see him get hurt because this is his sixth year at LSU. He had a medical red shirt and then the COVID year, obviously. So, wish him the best.
Yep. And we'll get to all that, break down the LSU Central Michigan game. Then we'll get to looking ahead to this weekend against Mississippi State at State. Going to be a tough one. Going to be kind of hopefully a revenge game for LSU after the thumping that they gave us last year in Tiger Stadium for the first game of the season. Hopefully we will not get torched over the top, but we'll get to all that. Maybe talk a little bit of NFLSU, kind of who shined, who struggled on Sunday, and then round out the show with the House Always Wins segment presented by the House Bar in Tigerland. But before we get to all that, I want to give a huge shout out to the Boot Crew Media Network. Last week, we had wide receiver number 1, Kayshon Boutte, on the Out the Box show. If you missed it, you can go check it out on last week's episode. What episode are we on? 77? 78. Episode 77 has Kayshon Boutte on it, though. Make sure to check that out. And also, get on over to bootcrewmedia.com. Those guys over there are busting their butts to come up with content. I swear, the amount of conversation about the Saints and LSU football, and I think tonight a cool front is coming through, right? As we record this, a cool front's coming through. Fall is coming in. Yeah. You know what that means? The fall food, gumbo, things like that. And I'm gonna put this on y'all's radar. I don't know if y'all thought about this yet. Thanksgiving is in 2 months, so we're working our way into the holiday season.
Woohoo!
Holiday season. Halloween, Rory,
coming up
into next month. I'm going to be sick, but
I already have my costume ready. Well, I know who I'm going to be.
What are you going to be?
I can't announce that now.
I need to figure out what I'm going to be.
Yeah, you do.
So like we said, bootcrewmedia.com, they literally break down everything over there. The content's absurd. I saw a bunch of funny memes today about the Superdome being on fire. Luffy, I'm gonna give you some credit too. You tweeted out that it looked like that the conclave was meeting at the Vatican, and
it means that they wouldn't have gotten a pope though. Black smoke is no pope.
Yeah, that's right.
Right. But then white smoke would mean that they have selected one finally. So they were still in there, they were still in there partying in the Superdome.
But the Saints were still in there.
Yeah, they're still praying. Bootcrewmedia.com. Prayers for the Saints, by the way. They kind of regressed after the big week 1 win against the Packers. But we'll get to all that. Bootcrewmedia.com, on social media, boot_crew_media. And shout out to the best to ever do it, the GOAT, Blaine Loop with Keller Williams Realty. Blaine is the sponsor of our weekend recaps of LSU football during football season. So just like it's the best time of year, Blaine Loop is the best you can get if you want to buy a home or sell a home as well as rent. Make sure to hit Blaine up. He wants to be your friend, your neighbor, and your agent. Make sure to call him or text him at any time at 504-858-0031. That's 504-858-0031. All right. Before we get to the Central Michigan, I guess the actual game, shout out to some of the members of the Out the Box fan club. They set up a tailgate on the parade grounds. None of us were able to attend, and we'll get to that. But they had the Out the Box flag. They had Joey Molinaro from Barstool, Megan Making Money, T-Bob Abear stopped by, so they kind of kept the train rolling. So that was cool. I was not able to. Luffy, me and you, we were in New Orleans for a wedding, and it was a beautiful wedding and a great ceremony. I love the bride and groom are great friends of ours, and but I think, when me and you went up to, or at least I don't know if you were by me, but I went up to the groom, who's our boy Dylan, and I said, look, I know this is probably one of the better days of your life, but We don't have to talk about it now, but we're going to have to talk about at some point how you didn't have the LSU game on some sort of TV at the reception. So
that's like criminal.
So
thank God for iPhones.
He's on his honeymoon right now, but I'm sure he will listen at some point. But and it was, I can manage, right? We'll grind the tape and we'll watch it on Sunday and whatnot. Obviously that was a very special and a very important thing, and we just kid by saying that. But Luffy was kind of heated at some points, but he was less heated because we actually played decently, right?
Can we just, to piggyback off that, can we talk about that phenomenon? And we haven't really gotten to it yet because kids our age are like just about to get married, but like
close.
Weddings in the fall on Saturdays,
it's a very fine line because you cannot put it on the wrong day.
No.
Because there's a lot of dates that's like Florida, Auburn, that's when you start losing some people, I think.
Also, it's like
I don't think anyone was actually incredibly too upset about it. Like I said, we're just kind of joking around and whatnot. But I think what made it better right out the gate, Deion Smith coming in with the Moss. That was an absurd catch.
I mean,
like right out the gate, that is how LSU needs to start a game, and the tempo kind of carried on throughout the rest of the game.
It was an easy game to watch on your iPhone because we were up 14-0 like that. It was, I mean, the first drive was really good. It was like what you really thought, kind of the potential. And then you get that Deion Smith catch. And then right after that, you get the great fumble by Stingley and then the fumble recovery by Anthony. I wanted to say RIP, but he's not dead.
I don't know. That's not funny. It's great. That's good news. I don't know why I laughed at that.
But it was just great. And to piggyback off that, I mean, we kind of stutter as an offense for a second, and then we have that 9-play, 91-yard drive that should have been more because they
104-yard drive.
Yeah, they put us on the wrong 45, which is absurd to think about. Like the officiating gaffes that happened this year or this week alone is just absurd. But I think that was the most perfect drive I have seen out of the Tigers this season. And I really don't think there's a doubt in my mind.
Yeah, it was the start we wanted to get out to. You want to get out and jump on those teams early, take them out of it, and then really insert your dominance for the rest of the game. And
it really was a dominant performance.
And it was good to see Pete settle in. He seemed like he settled in calling plays, and Max looked more comfortable back there. And they know kind of what they have now, regardless who's playing left tackle. They're figuring it out that like they're going to have to play with pressure on Max, and they're going to have to scheme around it.
Yeah, and I think that's something that we may see coming into this week is a little more 6-7 man protection. And you saw that first play of the game was a bomb to Butte with a 7-man protection where Ty Davis Price kind of leaked out, and so did Besh leak out for kind of like last second options. But it was a 7-man protection with a bomb, like a play action bomb, which I think is kind of what we will need to see just a little bit of 7-man protection, just to have a clean pocket and let the receivers make a play and let Max throw, let him throw the ball clean. So I hope we see some of that going into next week.
It was good to see Besh like help on the end and then get open and catch a pass and run for the first down. I mean, I think he made 2 third downs where he did that.
Yeah.
And he was really good. Linebackers can't cover him, and against the lesser opponents, he should dominate. And I think you're going to see a lot of them. Hopefully,
I think he's making a strong case to be like the best freshman on the team.
Yeah, and Mason Smith,
as well. But I mean,
Besh, and during the post game interviews and whatnot, it is very unusual. I mean, and Rory, better than us, for a freshman like that to be doing interviews like that.
That's true.
That shows
Les Miles
that
didn't let any freshman do
interviews. But you're hardly able to see that now. And to the fact that he's already stepping up to the mic The confidence is unmatched,
and that they
he
have the
shows it on the
confidence
field.
in him doing that. That's the thing, is kind of like they don't want freshmen going up there and saying something wrong or
Right, they
something
got to
like
get
that.
coached up by the marketing department at LSU.
Yeah,
their
by
freshman year.
Dr. Karam.
Yes,
the GOAT.
Yes.
But
So, go ahead, Rory.
I just think, he's got to be a part of this offense, and you've seen it as well. And Coach O kind of talked about it this week, saying that this might be the best freshman class he's ever had. And I think just top to bottom, and especially with some of the wide receivers we haven't seen. All we heard about all camp was Malik Neighbors, and we haven't even seen him yet. So I just think that, if I'm Coach O going into this week, or really Pete's, it's like, all right, I know these older guys have been there a while, but if these freshmen are going to be playing like this, you got to get them on the field and you got to throw them the ball. I just don't see another way.
Yeah, I definitely think they will. O knows there's no time for messing around, and I think he's going to play the best guys.
Yeah, and that's why you come to LSU. You come to LSU, and you're going to get your shot. And if you're good enough, you're good enough.
Yeah. So our Boot Crew Media official athlete, Keishon Butte, kind of took a step back in I guess the yardage category, had led the team in receptions for the game, had one touchdown and whatnot. But I feel like that was just more of a function of LSU trying to experiment, spread their offense around, get other guys touches, use this type of game to prepare for SEC play next week. Do y'all agree?
Yeah, very important game. Like I said earlier, Pete's and Max had to get comfortable getting the plays in, running the plays on time. We still had trouble with it, maybe once or twice. A couple penalties in the first half, which we cleaned up. In the second half, which too many penalties in the first half, honestly. Even though I think we only ended up with 6 or 7 on the game.
And I was excited to talk about another freshman, to see them kind of give the ball to Kiner and let him make a play in the second half, because, we were up big, we're up by 21 going in a half, and you really just want to kind of run the ball and kind of be methodical with the offense. And I thought, letting Kiner get those carries, got 12 carries, 74 yards and a touchdown. And we had that run that we tweeted out.
Incredible.
That was just exactly an incredible run.
And he seems like he's running away from contact and getting away from guys more than the other running backs. He just is. And against Central Michigan, but we got to see him. We got to see him this week, because all the other running backs seem kind of like they're running into contact. And Armani's coming back this week too. Coach says probably. I hope to see a good blend of both of them this week.
And I think he kind of just reminds me of a Clyde Edwards-Helaire, somebody who is never tackled until he's on the actual ground,
Yeah, and a smart player too.
Just a good, strong back with a good center of gravity that it takes a lot to tackle. So I'm super excited to see that. And another guy caught a touchdown this week on a beautiful post right up the seam, which is Devontae Lee.
Yeah, good for Devontae Lee. He's stuck around and he's been in the program for a couple of years now, and a lot of the freshmen have been getting all the shine. But maybe him at tight end. I know he's changed position a lot, but he's a big dude, and I feel like he can help blocking on the edge. And it's going to be a lot of football for Besh to be playing through this SEC schedule. Yeah. It would be hard for him not to get banged up.
Yeah, and we haven't really seen that much of Cole Taylor. I just think Besh is a better receiver at this point. And I think Cole Taylor is probably a better blocker. I will say it is hard to switch to tight end. It's hard to learn the intricacies of blocking. They kind of tried that with Stephon Sullivan and never really worked out. But, if he's going to be out there playing – and catching the balls like that, you play him at receiver.
Kind of, if he's playing, Besh is basically playing receiver for the most part.
Yeah.
I think Lee could do that same thing. I would assume they're around the same weight. But I guess let's get to the defense. The defensive line was really dominant early and pretty much throughout the game. The linebackers I thought played better. Clark played better, but it's still some question marks around him. And Bakersfield played well. I think he's going to get better consistently throughout the year.
Yeah.
And he seems to be getting a little bit better each game. And we're going to find out next week, but we'll talk about that when we talk about state and the safeties. They had one miscommunication, which led to that touchdown, first touchdown. But Major Burns had a pick. I think as he gets more comfortable and Jay Ward comes back, that group can tighten up. I think with Ward and Burns, it's a completely different group.
Yeah, I agree.
So I thought the defense was solid overall. Stingley obviously forced a fumble.
Yeah.
And him and Ricks, they just don't get picked on much. The line, it's just going to be so much on the linebackers and safeties this week.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I think it's just going to come down to 18 and Bugstrong and Bakersville and seeing if they can really step up to the plate because, all around them is really good players. Maybe, safety, especially with Jay Ward coming back. Just really strong players, and we just need them to kind of step up this weekend. And
I really hope Jay Ward's at full strength because you saw Delpit when he came back in 2019 against like Ole Miss when he wasn't really ready to run in there and make a hit, and both of them are hitters. Like Delpit had a huge hit in the NFL game this past weekend for his first sack. And like he was timid when he first came back. I hope Jay Ward's really back 100% ready to go.
Yeah.
All right. Y'all want to get to kind of look forward to Mississippi State this weekend. LSU is heading up to Starkville, the home of the Cowbells. And before we look at look ahead to the Mississippi State game, I think Luffy wanted to tell you about Martine over at Workbox.
So Martine over at Workbox has been helping us a ton with the tailgate. There's been a ton of people out there, so thanks for coming out there. Workbox is the industry's leader, Louisiana's leader. If you need a storage container, dumpster, porta potty, if you need luxury restrooms for a nice outdoor party, you got to call Martine at Workbox. Call Martine at Workbox because, listen, this dude's always working. He's been helping us out a ton with the tailgates. And if you need him at any time, you got to call Martine at 225-382-5250. 225-382-5250. Call Martine over at Workbox if you need anything.
Absolutely. So we look ahead to LSU's game this weekend against Mississippi State. It's going to be a night game.
No, it's a day game.
2:30?
11.
Whoa, I did not know that.
You did not know this week was 11 o'clock?
It's 11 o'clock, baby.
Wow.
It's a brunch game.
Okay. Let's
imagine that hangover. You go out to like 2 and then 11 a.m. cowbells in your ear.
Oh my God.
10:30 a.m.
awful.
cowbells in your ear.
Okay.
That'd be awful.
So I completely whiffed on that.
You did.
So okay. So I guess my just kind of an overall question. So last year we all know what happened, right? That was the game where LSU football took a turn for the worse, right? First game of the season last year, coming off the national championship, bunch of roster turnover, new coordinators. Bo Pelini's defense gets torched over the top. It infuriated me from day one. Then you got Mississippi State, this team who this year is looking like a lower tier SEC team, correct?
Yeah.
And they had KJ Costello last year, who looked like a potential Heisman candidate in the first game and then ended up getting benched later on in the season. So my question is, right now, given Mississippi State's, the first week when they cut it close against Tech, then they came back and they beat NC State, but then they dropped the game to Memphis last week. What is the bird's eye view of this Mississippi State team from an LSU
It's hard
lens?
for me to even judge the first couple state games. One, because like UCLA just lost 2.
Yeah.
And the biggest thing for me in this game is just Durante Jones going up against Mike Leach. Like, is he going to have someone who's pretty new to being a defensive coordinator confused, and are our players going to be confused and running around looking at each other? Because we know what Leach is going to do. And they're going to spread it out and they're going to do everything. That's what he does, is like call plays to expose defense's weaknesses. And he uses the entire field. And I wouldn't be lying if I wasn't extremely worried about that this weekend.
I mean, Mike Leach did not have anything good to say about LSU this week. I mean, he said it's just a fundamental defense.
Yeah. Those quotes were bad.
Very basic, very committed to what they do. And then calling the offense, they're awfully similar to last year. Some years they're better than others.
Wow.
Very, very similar to what they were last year as far as their style of play. So, I mean, Mike Leach is coming out not respecting LSU at all. And I think as much as LSU is going to be looking at last year's game and, fired up about what happened last year against Mississippi State, I mean, Mississippi State's going to be looking at last week. They got disrespected last week.
They got screwed on a call.
They got screwed on a call. And it's really going to, that can either go two ways. You can either take it as a boo-hoo me, like we should have won that game, and then be sad all this week of practice and just kind of give a BS effort against us. But I just don't think that they do that. They always get up for LSU. It honestly feels like a rivalry game to where, like, behind Ole Miss, Mississippi State hates playing us like second. I think we are second on the hated list.
They want to win this game.
Yeah, they always want to win this game.
Well, it was makeup for all those years where LSU would just kick the crap out of them.
Yeah, I think, like, if you're talking to an average Mississippi State fan, I think obviously number one goes Ole Miss, and I think we are in second or third to most people.
Because they never had a chance against Bama or the Floridas and whatnot. And given the way last year played out, it's gonna be loud. It's gonna be an early game. I'm a little worried about LSU, traveling up there, getting out of a different routine.
I think we're gonna have to win this game. Like, we're gonna have to score maybe 40 points to win this game.
Yeah,
I think that Pete's and his offensive team have got to come up with a great game plan this week, and they can't rely on the defense this week. And there's no excuse for the offense this week either.
Yeah.
This is his third or fourth game. The offense should be good. They should be able to move the ball in this defense, regardless of who's playing left tackle. I don't think we're going to get Cam Wire back, so I don't know who's going to play tackle. But hopefully we had a freshman playing left tackle this past weekend. It's not, you can't blame Xavier Hill. Like, he wasn't expected to get thrown into the fire. He's really the third guy.
I texted y'all during the game, and I was like, I'm going to be honest, I didn't even know who Xavier Hill was. Like,
yeah, I mean, he was a good, like, pretty decent prospect.
When that person came in, I was like, it took me a second.
And I'm like pretty sure, 90% sure he was recruited as a guard.
Yeah.
But he looks like a guy to me, like, that has a lot of potential, really. But and he could get dramatically better just with that experience in a couple games. But I don't know who's going to. Oh yeah, I'm looking back at my notes, and he was like third string on my O-line depth chart that I got in front of me that we made in the off the charts.
But I think one of the most important things this week is going to be coming out and punching them in the mouth. I think you have to do that early. If you're up 14-0 into this game,
take the crowd out,
and you take the crowd out of it, you're smooth sailing.
So let's talk a little bit about the gambling side of it, right? So LSU is slight favorites, very slight favorites,
and they've gone down.
They've
been bet down.
Yeah, right now currently it sits -2.5.
Yeah, they started at 4.5.
Now I don't know. I'm a little shaky on whether I want to mess with that, but something that might interest me, given the amount of points that both of these offenses are capable of scoring, over under 56.
That is tempting. I do like that.
Yeah, I was thinking the total was going to be around 58 to 60.
Yeah, I was thinking 60.
I did see it earlier today. So I don't know. I mean, I think it's going to be a shootout if LSU can, like, play, well on offense. So I don't know. I wouldn't bet the game. I probably won't bet the game. I think LSU loses by 4 to 10 points.
I mean, I was kind of on the same thing as well. I really don't know if we're going to win this game. I don't expect us to cover. If we win, I think it's by a point, maybe 2. I think it's going to be super close. I don't have a lot of confidence. I mean, we looked really good last week. That was against Chippewas. We were supposed to look good. I do think it was a good stepping stone. It was our best offensive game going into what is, at this point, the most important game of the season. And it could potentially be the most important game of the whole entire season because this could make or break it.
What in
That
the
was
earth
insane.
was
That
that?
And I almost I thought about trying to write a blog today, but like this team,
But you write it.
I can't write. That's literally the reason why.
His quote was, "I tried to write a blog today, but I had good thoughts. I just couldn't write them."
I can't write. I can talk, but I cannot write. I think the team could go 4-7 or 9-3. And like we just don't know, but you cannot trust them. You can't pick them in this game after what we saw in Pasadena.
Is this will you have a better indication on this team after this game?
Yeah, because
100%.
we have no clue.
No, but is this the game, right? So we came out to UCLA, first game, 2 new coordinators, whatnot.
It just depends how they look. If they barely win, then I don't think that you still might not really know because then you don't know what state is. But if they come out and dominate the game, I think they might be all right.
Yeah, I mean, I think I agree. It kind of depends on how we look. If we just squeak by, I'm not really confident going into
we win,
Auburn the next week. But if we win by a touchdown or more and we play well and play handily and do what we should do with the athletes that we have against Mississippi State, I think winning by a touchdown or more, I will be confident going into Auburn. Well, I think we beat Auburn. I don't know, but I will be way more confident.
I'm taking the over 56. I'm doing it.
Is that your house always wins pick?
No. I will be doing that on the side. I got to keep my streak up, but I will be doing that on the side. So I think that about covers all of our bases for LSU's game this weekend against Mississippi State.
11 a.m. I mean, that's so early.
Dude, whenever I asked that, I said it's a night game. And then you were like, no. I was like, oh, okay, 2:30. And you were like, nope, 11. And I was like, okay. It just got progressively worse.
Yeah.
So,
2:30. Why would they put that game at 2:30?
I don't know, man. I'm still I'm in a daze. So all right. So let's get to
the house.
You want to talk a little NFL, LSU, kind of who's been shining, who hadn't.
Honey Badger pick 6. Clyde obviously dropped that ball to lose the Chiefs game, and that's such a rare mistake to see him make. Such a sound player.
Yeah.
Who else had a good game? Jarvis got hurt. That sucked.
Jamar Chase touchdown again.
Jamal had a good game.
Joe kind of got beat up a little bit.
He struggled, but he was getting crushed. And he almost brought him back. They could have won that game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So. Shout out to Jackie Junes, Bears.
No, I'm cutting that.
Saints got to play Dante Jackson.
Yeah, did they?
How about the Saints? So this is a little bit of in my opinion, a pretty large debate, right? So up until this game, Jameis has shown that he has somehow gotten better, gotten smarter. Sean Payton's coached him up, and then it seemed like this game he kind of reverted back to old Jameis. Do y'all agree?
I don't blame this game on Jameis at all.
I don't either. We had a lot of injuries, a lot of adversity.
I don't even think it's old. I think he might have reverted back, but he was just like
he was trying to do something.
Yeah, he was just trying to do something out there. I just think the offensive line played miserably. I don't think he had longer than like 2 seconds on multiple pass attempts. I just think it was a bad coaching job all around.
Well, we were out a bunch of coaches, a lot of injuries.
That's not like the defense played fine.
I was expecting this from the Saints. I don't know. I thought on the road after 5 weeks maybe on the road.
Yeah.
Since the hurricane, coaches are out. Players are probably tired. They probably want to go back to their real home in New Orleans. I don't even think.
I think this week is going to be tough as well.
Yeah, I do too. But I don't think you take the Saints really try to decide what they are until a little bit later.
Yeah, but I do like Sean Payton in the bounce back. I think he usually bounces back well. He doesn't like getting embarrassed, and we kind of got embarrassed last week.
Yeah.
I think that the defense played well.
They're playing New England this week.
Yeah,
and Mac Jones really hasn't done anything. I was looking at his stats and he's not his average pass downfield is almost nowhere. I think it's close to last in the NFL.
Yeah, I mean,
so they're not really pushing
nothing special.
He's basically like Drew his last couple of years.
Yeah,
they're just checking the ball down. He's not really throwing it that far downfield. Now I think he can, but we'll see how much they have to use of.
I think it's going to come down to the offense and the offensive line. Sean Payton putting together a better game plan, getting Alvin Kamara involved. I mean, he just wasn't involved at all. He hasn't really been the first 2 weeks. He needs to be more involved. And I don't know what's up on the offensive line, but they need to get their stuff together because it did not look good last week. Just missed assignments. It wasn't even like, I mean, the Panthers have a good defense and they made good plays, but there were so many missed assignments as well, just guys running free. I mean, there's a play Teron Armstead, one of the best left tackles in football, one guy blitzes inside, one guy blitzes outside, and he gets confused and doesn't go for either one of them, and they both just smack Jameis. I mean, it's tough to do anything as a quarterback when you're just getting pushed around like that. So I wouldn't really blame him. I'm not saying that the jury's out on him. There's no verdict yet.
All right, let's get to the House Always Wins segment presented by the House Bar in Tigerland. Rory, tell us about the House Bar in Tigerland.
House Bar in Tigerland open tonight. If you're listening to this live while you're at Luffy's house, just like outside the window, you should go to the house because that's weird. House Bar in Tigerland. I'll be there Thursday night. Come say hey, come request a song or don't. Please don't. But the House Bar's back. School's back. People are bustling. Tigerland's moving and grooving. And the House Bar's back. The house is home. Open, I don't know, I think every day of the week. If not, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, always banging.
Request only country music.
I'm not going to play your request if you request country music before
country
the hour
music
of
remix.
1:45 a.m. Come see us.
Nothing good ever happens after midnight, Rory.
This is true. But you know where it does happen sometimes? The House Bar in Tigerland. Follow them on Instagram and Facebook at House Bar in Tigerland and on Twitter at Tigerland House. Keep to update with all the deals.
And follow Rory because he'll always repost whenever he's going DJ at the bar, even if it doesn't say his name on the thing.
It never says my name, but that's okay.
But why would you? I mean, other than them being a great sponsor of the show, you also want to plug DJ Road Dogg. So, all right, Rory.
Well, I'm 4 for 4 on football picks so far.
I think he's making that up.
I'm not making it up. I had New Mexico State. I had in the first game. I had New Mexico State. I believe it was a winner. Whatever it was, they covered. I had Penn State last week. The week before,
you don't have to prove it. You're 4-0.
I don't even remember who I had the week before. I covered
the Illini.
Loss.
Yeah, I think it was
no, I did not.
Luffy
had
good.
the Illini.
No, you're good. You're good. Everyone believes you.
All right, no, y'all go, and I'm going to figure this out.
All right, last week I had the over on the month. Yeah, that's right, Luffy. You got it when the iron's hot. You got to strike.
Go.
Strike while the iron's hot. Last week we released the episode after the Monday Night Football game that I predicted the over, so the fans didn't get to take the pick. I bet the Monday Night Football game, and then we released it later, which bad miss on our part, but it was a winner. It was on record. This week I'm going with the Thursday night game. Panthers are playing the Texans at the Texans. Rookie quarterback starting for the Texans. Texans are a dumpster fire. I'm rolling with that. And I'm going to take the Panthers -4 first half, -115.
Okay, I'm taking the Panthers Thursday night in a teaser. -2 for the Panthers and then -1.5 Bills on Sunday. Bills need to keep rolling. They're back in Buffalo. Josh Allen got going last weekend, and I expect them to get off to a better start than they did week one and continue to roll. I don't remember what I picked last week. I was in a bad state of mind on Sunday, but I think was it the Pats? I'll have to look.
Yeah,
Rory?
Pats.
So I figured it out. I picked New Mexico State. Then I had Illinois +7. No, then I had Georgia, and then I had Penn State. That's 3. And then I had somebody else as well. I don't remember, but I did have somebody else as well.
You had LSU week 1.
Did I really have LSU week 1? I don't think I did.
I don't know.
This week,
Get LSU straight up.
I'm not taking LSU straight up. I'm taking the Friday night game, a little Friday night football under the lights. Liberty -6. I mean, there's not much else to say. Liberty playing Syracuse.
You won't have to watch the game.
You won't have to watch the game because they're covering. Just know. Malik Willis, Auburn transfer, could be the number 1 pick in the draft. With Hugh Freeze, just bet Liberty back to -6. Syracuse has not looked good. I think Syracuse is 2-1. Doesn't matter. Liberty dominant. Give me the -6. Prime time Friday night.
All right. 3 winners each week. It's the House Always Wins segment presented by the House Bar in Tigerland. And I think that about does it for our show as well. Thank you guys so much for listening. We cannot thank y'all enough. Every single damn week on this show, every single week, we say thank you to our great listeners, our great supporters. We could not do it without you guys. Our great sponsors, House Bar in Tigerland, Blaine Loop with Keller Williams Realty and Workbox LLC, and also the Boo Crew Media Network. Fantastic people keeping the Out the Box show rolling. And
we're going to do I think we're going to bring House the inbox back, but we're going to do it differently this time. We'll be tweeting out and Instagramming out the rules. And that'll be back hopefully next week.
Okay, Luffy, I
didn't know about
me
that.
and Rory had no idea about this, but I'm in. I'm always in for a
follower-led segment.
A little inbox, out the box inbox.
No. I'm always in for an out the box inbox. You know that we always have fun with that. We love to hear.
We haven't done it in a long time.
And I'm glad
bringing it back.
I'm glad Luffy we have to do it now. So
yeah, you're right.
I'm in.
And I don't know the rules yet either, but I'm interested to hear.
I'm making the rules too.
Awesome. All right, we're in for it. Tune in.
I think we do it to where you have to tweet it out. It has to be some engagement, you know.
You have to get it.
No, I'm saying